Hello, Facebook. Julie here. I'm so excited to be sharing this design with you. I kind of gave you guys like a little sneak peek teaser about this angel that I've created. It's a design. There's actually three scriptures that you'll have the option to paint. So I'm going to show you one, but this is on a 16 by 20 canvas. And like I said, I'm so excited about this. You can see there's the sheet music behind her wings, or actually making her wings. And then this is a scripture. This is a little bit long. So the three designs I have shorter ones, but I did want to share this one with you. So this is Psalms 104 through 5. And it says, enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. For the Lord is good and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all the generations. So I love that. But once again, I just wanted to show you real quick, and I'm going to go from start to end on how to create this angel. And if you're interested in getting the tutorial, shoot me a text message at 406-283-4657. I'm still kind of compiling it all together and scanning in the different templates. So if you want this tutorial or information, shoot me a text and I'll send you all that information probably this afternoon. But once again, I wanted to show you how to create our beautiful angel. I'm just calling it the music angel. If you guys have any better tips or names, let me know. But like I said, I'm so excited to be sharing this with you. So once again, this is what she will look like once she's all painted. But I'm going to have us start off with a blank canvas. Now, if this is something you guys want, hi Elizabeth, how are you today? So excited to be sharing this with you. So I have three different designs. So this one is Zephaniah 3:17, and it says, he will rejoice over you with song. So that's one. Then I did another one because I can't pick just one. There's so many scriptures that I love that went along with music. So the next one says, I will sing to you, Lord. I will celebrate your kindness and your justice. And that's Psalm 101:1. And then the last one is Psalm 98:4. And it says, shout to the Lord, all the earth, break out in praise and sing for joy. So once again, loved all of those. I narrowed it down to those three. So in the template, it's rainy in Orlando. So I'm in Montana, and today's actually the first beautiful day we've had in quite a while. We had a real bad cold snap. We had rain and thunder. And so today's a beautiful day, and I'm wearing shorts. I haven't been able to do that. So hopefully that rain will, is probably needed, but hopefully you'll get some sunshine soon. So once again, if this is something you're interested in, just shoot me a text. But what you will get is the full tracer, which, like I said, I'm going to do this beginning to end so you can see the entire process. Yeah, Elizabeth, just shoot me a text here. Let me not cover up the number. 406-283-4657. And like I said, I'm still in the process of getting this all put together, but I did want to jump on here and paint this with you because it's so fun. All right, so when you download the tracer, it'll come in 6 pages, just like this. And like I said, I made 3 of these. So there's actually 3 templates that have the different scriptures. So the one I'm going to do is Psalm 101:1. And I'm going to just start to cut these out real quick. But I just want you guys to see from beginning to end how easy it is to do this. So Elizabeth, what are you doing on your rainy Sunday? My husband works on Sunday, so we go to church Saturday night. So we went to church last night. It's so nice to kind of hang out and see everybody. Definitely feels good to attend church in person. But it's also been fun because, a lot of churches switched to doing virtual over the last year. And so if you guys don't know my story, I'm in Montana now, but I'm from California. And it's fun because I can chime in, or tune in, I should say, and watch my old home church and watch their service. So it's kind of fun that I can do both. Liz says you're making Puerto Rican mofongo and watching Blue Jays baseball game. That sounds like fun. I'm trying to make sure I do this correctly. I don't know if I've had any authentic Puerto Rican food. That sounds delicious. I'm Mexican on my dad's side. And so I definitely love me some good authentic food. So if you have any good recipes, shoot me some. Actually, my husband and I, we just bought a cookbook off of Amazon. We like to watch Rachel Ray, and it was actually a rerun from, I think, a while ago. But it's a book. It's called Jewish, like, man, I'm kind of Jewish, you know, but it's Jewish food. And so there's some fun recipes that we want to try in there. So Elizabeth, if you have any good Puerto Rican recipes that a white girl like me can make, shoot me a good recipe. I love trying new stuff. I think it's just my artistic nature, but I love to create. And I know that sounds kind of silly, but whether it's in the kitchen, whether it's making something, you know, art like on canvas, I even love to garden. I just love creating things. So if that's you too, let me know. Hi, Diane. How are you doing today? And I see Trina's on here. Hello from New Mexico. Trina, I see Arizona's really getting a bad heat snap. Are you guys getting the same there in New Mexico? Oh, geez, anytime you're down here, I'll cook for you. I will send you what to say. Awesome. I would love it. I am not a thin girl. I have a little meat on my bones. I love me some good food. And I think that trying different food is a great way to explore different cultures. One of my favorite things to do. But anyways, like I said, I love to create, whether it's artistically, whether it's in the kitchen, whether it's gardening, all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, so once again, I just kind of wanted you guys to see what these templates look like. Cut them out, line them up like a big puzzle. Get your tape. If you guys are interested in getting more information on this, just shoot me a text message. I'm still putting the tutorial together. But in the tutorial will be this template, but also one with 2 different scriptures on there. And so like I said, I couldn't pick just one. I kind of did a little survey. I'm like, what's your favorite scripture related with music? And you guys give me some great ideas. Trina says, right now it's 93, but it has been triple digits all week. Yuck. Now, I know there are some people that love hot weather. I am not one of them. I'm originally from Sacramento, and I remember when we moved, we were packing up the U-Haul, and it was like 107. It was not my cup of tea. Now, once again, I live where there's snow and cold, and I understand that's not everybody's cup of tea either. So to each their own. But for me, I would definitely rather take a little bit of cold weather than those hot temperatures. But you know what? Whatever makes you happy, you do it. Elizabeth says, where are you? We got 105 this week. So Elizabeth, I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're talking to Trina, but I'm actually in Missoula, Montana. So, so we are Western Montana. And if you ever look on a map or if you know where national parks are, Glacier National Park is above me. Yellowstone, here, I'll do this. Glacier is above me. Yellowstone is below me. And we're smack dab right in the middle in a beautiful little town. Well, for Montana, it's a big town. For California, it's a little town. But I'm in Missoula, Montana. And it says, love me some snow. I'm in Roswell, New Mexico. Oh, home of the aliens. I love sci-fi too. So that is cool. If you send your aliens to Montana to come visit. That's so fun. So once again, I'm just kind of showing you guys how to do this. I've cut these all out and I'm taping them together like a big jigsaw puzzle. I'm going to use graphite paper. If you've seen me paint at all, you know this is one of my favorite tricks. You can get graphite paper from, I get mine from Michael's, but you can get it online. You could get it from Amazon, from some office supply stores. It's not too expensive and you can reuse it over and over. So I love graphite paper. Now, graphite paper and carbon paper kind of do the same thing, but they're different. Think of like, I'm going to make myself sound like I'm 100. So think of old checks or modern day checks. Some people still write them, but that little paper that's behind that when you write the check, it kind of does, it leaves the trace on the back. That's graphite paper. Carbon paper is usually what's not sticky, messy and kind of just leaves a mess everywhere. So try and get graphite paper. So if you're going to use graphite paper usually has two sides. This is the part that actually has the graphite. So you put that side down. And then you put your tracer on top. Now, I'm going to do this in 2 stages. So for this first outline, I'm only going to do the angel. I'm going to come back and do the scripture later, and I'll show you why. If you've seen me before, sometimes I'll do the Sharpie, paint over it, and then do the Sharpie again. With this, you're just painting the background, so you don't really need to do the step twice. If you love to do extra work, go for it, but I'm lazy and I don't. So I'm not. And so all I'm doing is I'm going to do an outline of the wing shape. If you don't want to use the sheets of music that I will provide for you, you don't have to do all the little feathers. If you don't like that, you can definitely just do the shape, which is what I'm doing, because we're going to be gluing the sheet music wings on here anyways. So this is kind of a fun project. I haven't really done anything like this with you guys. It's almost like a little bit of a mixed media art. And if you don't know what that means, then I'll kind of teach you some fancy art stuff. It's not really fancy, but I like to oh, it's a mixed media art project, you know. So I like to sound fancy even if I'm not. But I will kind of talk a little bit about that. But this is technically a mixed media. Now, if you notice, every once in a while, I'll put my hand down and I'll kind of pull the carbon paper back to see if I've forgotten any areas. So before you move anything, always make sure you hold your hand down just as like a marker. Let's see. We'll do this wing. And I'm using a mechanical pencil to trace this, but I don't even have any of the lead out. I'm just using kind of like the hard plastic edge. So you can use a pen, you can use a stylus, you can use, sometimes I've even been known to take like a paintbrush and just use the end of a tiny paintbrush. You're just wanting pressure. So you don't have to use, the closest thing I had was this mechanical pencil. So that's what I'm using, but I'm not like drawing with it. I'm just using that end of it. So I think I got my angel. Yeah. Okay. So I'll show you what this looks like. I know it's kind of hard to see with the lighter graphite outline, but if you see, I have the shape of the angel's wings, and then I have the angel on the inside. Now I'm going to take a Sharpie or a permanent marker and kind of go over the outline. The reason why I'm doing this is because if you look in the final one, see how she's outlined along with the outline of the wings. So I'm just going to do it at this stage. You can actually do it at the very end too if you want. So once again, if you're interested in getting this template, what it will include will be 3 different templates of the angel. I've picked 3 different scriptures, and truth be told, if there's one that you like, oh, this is, you know, my favorite scripture, just shoot it to me. As long as it's not too much, I can do a template for you too. But I picked 3 based off of the feedback you guys gave me, the ones that I kind of found just in doing some research. And so it'll come with the templates, it'll come with a supply list, a step-by-step, you know, everything that I'm doing but written out. And then it'll also come with these wings. So I'll show you how to do that step next. I'm so excited about this. Now I'm kind of a Bible nerd. I know that sounds weird, but I love to research things in the Bible. It's one of the ways, like, as I'm kind of, you know, digging into scriptures or researching or finding out meanings of words, or historical context, like in that research, in that digging, to me, is one of the ways that God kind of talks to me, which is weird because I'm like the hippie artist, but I also love like nerdy books and research and things like that. So for me, in doing some of the research on this, like I looked up a bunch of different scriptures on music and on angels and angel singing, and, you know, the instruments that are mentioned in a lot of the scriptures that talk about praise and music are in Psalms. And so, you know, the different instruments, and I am a nerd and I love that. So I challenge you, kind of do a little research and see if anything like jumps out at you and if you can kind of glean any deeper meanings. So like I said, I'm a nerd. I love to, paint and blare my favorite music. But I also love to like get out books and research and dig deeper and kind of find, like here's the meaning, but what's the meaning underneath? So I challenge you, if you're kind of that same way, do some research on music and see what kind of speaks to you. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, and I am doing this in stages on purpose. So I've done the outline of the angel. I have traced the angel body in Sharpie. And now, I always joke, farty sounds are my paint bottles, you guys. Proof. Farty sounds are my paint bottles. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. The fun thing about these is you can do them in any color. Like you can see this one I kind of did in my absolute favorite teal, because if you've seen me paint anything, it usually is teal. I'm trying to break it up and go outside of that. So now I'm doing blue. But I mean, you could do these purple, red, yellow, green. You could actually, this would be really pretty, like a rainbow, like doing all the different colors. So anyways, whatever color is your favorite color. But I'm going to come in here, and I like the look of this kind of marbled or textured background. See how it's like all not really blended, but kind of blended. This background up here. I like that look. If you don't, paint it different. I'm not the boss of you. So if you want to have a solid background, if you want to do like swirls, if you want to fade and do like an ombre, like I said, a rainbow might be really pretty. But if you like the look of the way that I have mine painted, all I'm doing, let me move this light. There's kind of good. Oh, there, that's better. I'm like a weird shadow. All I'm doing is I take my brush and I mix a little bit of blue with a little bit of white. Not very much. I try not to go too crazy, but I'm going to come in here and just start painting in all different directions. And it's okay if I go over the outline of the wing. Actually, it's probably better if you paint a little bit over the edge instead of not enough. But now I'm going to come in here with some solid blue and just go in different directions. I'm using acrylic paint, and acrylic paint blends well when it's wet. So if I want my colors to blend, I have to have wet blue paint and wet white paint. So I need both of those colors to not be dry. And so I can come in here with a little bit of blue, a little bit of white, a little bit of that, those two colors mixed together. And as long as I don't go back and forth and blend them too much, you'll get that kind of streaky look. Once again, I like that look, but if you don't, then paint yours a different way. So I have a little bit of blending and then not too much. It's easy to overdo it, but I just kind of go a few times in different directions. Once again, I like the way this looks. You don't have to. Now, be mindful as you're painting. I'm going to do my lettering in black. So if I had a really dark background, you wouldn't really be able to see that black lettering through the dark background. So I'm going to be intentional and make the area where I know the writing is going to be a little extra light. So if, let's say I wanted to have a really dark background, do your lettering in a lighter color. Maybe do it in white or a tan. So just be mindful of those things as you're painting, as you're doing this. Please, please be creative. Do what feels fun and funky to you. But also as you're painting, I don't want you to paint this and go, oh, I love my background, but now you can't read the scripture, or the wording. You can also do a poem on this. I know there's a ton of beautiful song lyrics that would be really fun to do with this. But like I said, I'm just being mindful to make sure where my wording is, because I'm going to do it in black. I want there to be contrast. So I want that background to be a little bit on the lighter side. Just kind of going back and forth. So even if you're going to have a solid background color, be a little bit mindful and just think of what color you want your writing to be versus what color your background is. All right, almost done. But see how I kind of go a few times in each direction. But if I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. All those colors are going to blend, which that's not a bad thing. But if you want to have the look that I have, this kind of streaky look, just don't go overboard. And once again, I'm still working on the full tutorial, but if you're interested, shoot me a text at 406-283-4657, 406-283-4657. And then once I have it together, which should be probably this afternoon, I'll send you information. Alrighty. Okay, so now I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to start painting the body of my angel. I forgot a little cut for my brushes. I'll get to it, don't worry. I had one time I did a paint party at this lady's art studio, and I just had all my paint brushes soaking in a cup of water. And she's like, no, that's really bad for your brushes. And I'm like, I know, I probably, should be a little more gentle with my stuff. I'm like, I take them home and do all this. And she's like, yeah, but they're bad for your brushes. And she ended up taking my brushes and like cleaning them for me. I'm like, you're so sweet. Thank you. I'm a bad art brush keeper. Elizabeth asked the canvas size. This is a 16 by 20. So the tracers can be 16 by 20. If you want a different size, let me know. I can edit them to be a different color for you. Or different color, different size. So once again, this is a 16 by 20. If you want a different template size, just let me know, and then I can change those up. All right, so I'm going to paint my angel. I'm just using, this is Michael's brand Flesh. It's kind of like a peach color. Sometimes I like to make my angels look a little like they've been on vacation and have a little more of a tan. So you can use whatever skin hue you want. I've even done these angels and left their skin kind of like white and painted like a pearl color on top. So once again, you can paint your beautiful angelic figure any beautiful color you want, or if you want it to have more of like a celestial feel, you can leave it white and add just like glitter or something. Now, as I'm painting, I want you guys to see on my original, see where the black outline is, and see how I kind of painted over around her dress. You could see, like, especially up here on her shoulder. See how some of that white paint is over the Sharpie? I like that kind of distressed look. So I'm not too concerned as I'm coming in here and painting over those lines. If you're one of those people that's a little OCD and you have to stay in the lines, you definitely can. But as you can see, I'm not worried about it. I'm painting right over that Sharpie. It'll come through, and I can always go back and re-outline over the Sharpie once it dries if I want to. But just kind of coming in and doing a simple kind of flesh color. I'm going to make this angel a redhead. My other one was brunette. I'll make this beautiful angel a redhead. And this is a bright kind of like carrot orange. I'm going to do one color of this, and then I'm going to use the same orange and add just a touch of brown just to kind of mellow it out. This is a pretty bright, what's it called? Vivid orange. It's just the closest one that I had. Susan said she is beautiful. Now, guys, if you have a chance, go check out my friend Susan Turley. She just commented. She posted the cutest cowgirl boot. It was like, so we talked about mixed media. That's something I mentioned. So mixed media is when you do different types. So this is going to be painting on canvas, but we're going to actually add the paper and use Modge Podge. So that makes it mixed media because it has the paper plus the paint and canvas. Susan did the super cute cowgirl boot. And then she, I looked like you hot glued some flowers and some feathers. So it had a very cool like boho feel. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to have to paint one of those. So give my girl a little shout out. I loved that boot that you posted. So cute. All right. Coming in, giving her some beautiful orange locks. Now, when I design these, I try and give them different hairstyles. Susan says, you are so darn sweet. Thank you, my friend. Girl, you inspire me. I love what you do. And if you inspire me, I know you're going to inspire some of my other friends. All right. So she has this very like straight kind of mid part hairstyle. Super easy to change up. If you want her to have curly hair, you know, change it up. If you're like, hey, I'd love to do this, but I want my angel to have a bun. Let me know. I can tweak the design for you. But once again, I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. And then for the dress, you can do, I wonder if I should do, I'm trying to think on the fly here. Nah, I'm going to do it kind of in a tan color. I'm like, So what I did on my original is I just used tan as my base coat, and then I added some white and gold. I'm going to do the same thing. But on some of my other angels, I've actually painted the dress to match the background. So in times before, I have painted, like in this one, I would paint her dress this solid dark blue. So you can change it up however you want. Like I said, just because I'm painting my angel with a certain hair color or certain hair style, or, you know, her dress is a certain color, change it up. Actually, it was really cute. I have one angel design that it's a winter angel or a Christmas angel. And I had one lady like give her this like va 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 boom like hourglass shape. I'm like, dang, you made her look good. You know, gave her that cute little waist. And so I get inspired by what you guys do. Susan says, love the light color dress. Me too. It's kind of fun. But once again, if you're painting, one thing I love, ooh, I dipped in the wrong color. Nah, that's not a big deal. I'm painting her the flesh tone instead of the tan. It's okay because I'm going to add other layers on top of this. One of my favorite things to do when I create is create art as gifts for people. And if you know somebody that sings or plays an instrument or uses music as their way to, you know, worship, what a fun gift to give them. And then you can, you know, whatever their favorite color is, let's say you're doing it for your friend and she loves purple, paint this in purple. But I think this would make a great gift, but also something fun for you. So once again, if you have somebody in your life that is musical, what a great gift. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry for just a few minutes, and I'm going to start working on the wings. Now, in the template, I have a left wing and a right wing for you. They'll come like this. And I started to cut this one. I went, oh, shoot, I should do it so people can actually see from start to finish. So you saw me cut out the big tracer, tape it together, use the graphite paper to get the outline onto the canvas. And once again, I'm just coming in here and cutting this out. So once again, I'll give you a left wing and a right wing. And then 3 templates that have those 3 scriptures on them. That was so fun. I loved researching. Like I said, I just looked up music. I looked up song. And just all the beautiful scriptures that came up were really fun to read. All right. Cut out the wings. And then I'm just going to use Modge Podge. You can use, depending on the brand, different brands call it different things. But see, I'll just show you what the wings look like. How stinking pretty is that? I'm just going to use Modge Podge, but once again, you can use whatever you can get your hands on. If you don't have any Modge Podge handy or any, you know, type of decoupage, just use white glue and dilute it with some water and use that. It's not rocket science. It's not that big of a deal. There's some people that just get like, okay, well, I don't have exactly what you have. Don't worry about it. Use what you have. It's not, all we're doing is just shellacking it down to our canvas. Oh, cool. Susan says she has a friend that has a studio in Roswell. So who was Trina is in Roswell. Maybe you can go check that out. I love, like, you guys, I have the coolest friends. You guys are my cool friends. Okay. So what I'm going to do, the best thing to do with Modge Podge is you're going to put a layer on the canvas, and you're also going to put a layer on the back of the wing. I'm actually going to move this to this side real quick. Running out of room. So this might get a little messy. My workspace is, that's what this space is for. It's just for getting messy. So gonna get a little messy. And once again, I'm just using Modge Podge, but you can use whatever you can get your hands on, even if it's just good old white glue, school white glue. I'd recommend maybe mixing a little bit of water with it. And you want to make sure you get this all the way to the edges. You guys are going to laugh at me when you see what I use to flatten down my paper. I was looking for something to use. We're talking about using what you have. You guys are going to laugh. I was like, what can I use that I have that's handy? And when I show you, you guys are going to crack up. Okay, so there's the back of one wing. Have little eraser crumbs. Let me ask you guys a question. So when you erase something, you know all the little leftover eraser bits? What is that called? My husband and I had a very in-depth conversation about that. I call them eraser crumbs. I'm sure that that is not a real thing. That's something I totally made up. But what do you call the little bits of eraser that are left over once you're done erasing? Eraser crumbs? I don't know. Am I the only one that thinks of these things? Probably. Okay. Modge Podge in the back of those. And we want to do this kind of quick. We don't want to let these dry, but I'm going to set these to the side. So I can put some glue on my canvas. Not glue, Modge Podge. But you can use glue. And I know this is all wonky and upside down for you guys. Just bear with me. Like I said, you want to make sure you put a good layer on your canvas and on your paper wings. And the nice thing about if you put a generous layer on both is that it gives you a little bit of time to where you can kind of float. And I'll show you what I mean. The wing, and kind of move it around if you need to. All right. That side and our other wing. And ladies, give me ideas on what inspires you. If there's something that you want me to make a design for. I mean, as you can tell, angels are fun for me. And it seems like you guys love painting them because every time I do an angel tutorial, they're usually pretty popular, which makes me feel oh so happy. For me, creating is a time for me to connect with God. And when you paint angels, you kind of have your mind focused on celestial things. So it's just wonderful for me to do this and to share with you. And I'm so thankful that you guys enjoy them. So once again, we have a layer on the back of our paper and then a layer on the canvas. And then when I say float, see how I can kind of move that a little bit. So if I need to kind of line up the edges a little bit, let me move this back to where you guys can see it correctly. If you're in New Mexico, or what'd you guys say? It was like 107. Your glue may dry pretty quickly. So try and do this while they're both still wet. But once again, a layer of glue or Modge Podge on your wing and then also on the canvas. And you guys are going to laugh at me. So this is the other day, I'm like, what can I use to kind of help flatten everything down? Most people recommend like an old credit card or an old gift card. Well, I did the card theme, but literally a card. This is what I had laying around. I'm like, I can use a playing card. So feel free, use whatever, but you just want something a little bit rigid, and you're just going to kind of pull the glue from the center to the edges. So kind of start from the center. Ooh, dang it. I made a boo-boo. It's okay though. So what I did was I accidentally picked up some wet blue paint and I smeared it. But I'm going to show you one of my tricks. Baby wipe. Got to be careful because this is paper. But see how that just comes up? Boom. So just be careful if your paint's still wet. I'm probably doing this a lot faster than you guys would at home. But as you flatten out your wing and bring that glue to the edges, it just gets any air bubbles out and it helps the edges lay flat. Maybe this is a good idea. Wipe any paint off of there if it's wet, but kind of start in the middle and drag out so that if there's any air bubbles or any extra glue or Mod Podge, it just kind of seeps out the edges. So once again, I'm using an old playing card, but you can use an old, business card, driver's license, credit card, gift card, whatever you got. But I do recommend trying to get those air bubbles and any extra glue or Mod Podge from underneath. All right. And then also one thing I would recommend is down here on this bottom edge where the little piece of paper comes to an edge, try and just make sure that that's as flat as you can get it. Kind of just try and roll it over the edge just so you don't have a big piece of paper sticking out. It's not a big deal if it does, but see how beautiful that is in such a simple, short amount of time. Yay! Okay, so now we are going to start adding our layers. All right, so put that over there, and I promise I will rinse those. Don't think I let my brushes harden with paint on them. I don't. I just leave them in cups of water for far too long. Okay, so once again, now I'm going to come in here and start painting. Like I said, I'm going to do a second layer on her beautiful hair, add just a tiny, tiny touch of brown. This is just for me, just how I want to paint my beautiful angel. You can make her a brunette. You can give her beautiful dark hair like me. You can give her beautiful light hair. Ooh, that's a lot. But I'm going to mix just a tiny, tiny touch of brown with this orange just to kind of mellow it out a little bit. But once again, if you want to give your angel a different hairstyle, a different hair color, make this however you want. But see how that little tiny bit of brown in there kind of mellows out that orange. Just a touch. I always laugh because we always want to be what we're not. And I always thought like red hair was so cool. I actually laugh because I've always had, my hair is dark, dark, dark brown. Some people think it's black, but it's very, very dark brown. Susan says, love the pre-printed wings on the sheet music. Thank you. That took a little, a little design magic on my end. That's it took me about a day and a half to figure out how to do that, but I finally figured it out. But, and like I said, I can resize it. But I have dark hair. I've always wanted to have like something different. And I remember I was in high school and I wanted to dye my hair like a deep burgundy color. And I bugged my mom and I bugged my mom and I bugged my mom and she kept telling me, no, no, no. Real quick, if you notice right here above the wing, the paint I didn't paint close enough. So I'm just going to come in and just kind of touch it up. So once you glue the wings on, if there's any little gaps or any places, just come back with a little bit of that color and just kind of touch it up. It's not the end of the world. But anyway, so I bugged my mom and I bugged my mom. And finally, after like relentless, you know, just driving her crazy, she's like, yeah, go for it. And then after that, I'm like, never mind, changed my mind. So I always laugh because I'm like, I wanted to dye my hair so bad just because it was something different. And I think because my mom was telling me no. And then as soon as she said yes, I went, never mind, I'm good. Okay. So you see that I did a little bit of tan in the body of the dress. I might need to go grab some more paintbrushes. Let me grab some more paintbrushes real quick. And I will put these guys in water so that way I don't get any hate mail from people telling me how bad I am with my paintbrushes. One of the nice things about being an artist is I have a whole stash of brushes. So it's very easy for me to go, oh, let me just go grab a clean one real quick. All right. So what I'm going to do is now that I have a little bit of this tan color down here, once again, you can paint the dress a solid color if you want. Farty sounds, paint bottle, not me. Just for clarification. So now I'm going to come in with a little bit of white and I'm just going to come in here and kind of just mellow that tan color out. So I'm doing a little bit of white over that tan. I'm not repainting her entire dress. Just like when I painted the tan, I didn't paint the tan over the entire dress. I'm just kind of picking spots and just kind of scrubbing in some paint. I know that sounds silly, but because this is kind of like an abstract, it's not detail oriented. It's just, you know, a very simple figure. Her dress can kind of have that same kind of rustic, kind of messy feel. If you want her dress to be one solid color, I've actually painted these angels and I painted their entire dress gold before. I am going to add some gold. So now that we're kind of letting the dress dry, her hair dry, I'm going to come in with some gold paint. And once again, just kind of pick a few spots here and there on the wings especially, but I like to do it over the entire painting. Just a little bit of gold and just kind of come in here and paint some spots. You can paint the entire wing gold if you want, or just kind of pick some areas. It's really not even highlighting, because if I was truly highlighting the painting, I would just be painting the areas where the light would naturally hit the wings. I'm not even doing that. I'm just kind of coming here and accenting. That's what I'm doing. I'm accenting her wings with just a little bit of gold. And you can do this with any metallic color, or you don't have to do it at all. But one thing you can also do is add a layer of glitter paint over her wings if you want. These angels, because they're not super specific and detailed, they lend themselves a lot to, whatever kind of floats your fancy. If you want, to paint the entire wing gold, I'll show you real quick up close. See how I'm just picking a couple spots to add that gold to? And my gold is a little bit transparent. It's a little see-through, so you'll still be able to see the sheet music behind the wings, or through the wings, I should say. But I'm just coming in here with a little bit of gold and just accenting, not highlighting, just a few spots. And it doesn't really matter which brush you use. I'm using a 1/2 inch flat, but use whatever your favorite brush is to use. But you could really go crazy and add, metallic paint, add some glitter, add some pearl. A pearl would be really pretty over the wings as well. But just kind of have fun with it and use what you have and customize it however you want. But see, just some touches of gold in the wings. I know the painting is still wet, so it's shiny. But if you especially look at the top of her left wing, see how that gold really picks up that light. So pretty. And once again, if you like this look, you can add a few highlights in the dress, even add some in her hair. You can even add some in her face too. These are celestial beings. And so, I like to add just a little bit of that here and there. Just a little dab, a little pinch. I always laugh because speaking of just a little this, a little that, my grandmother, who is in heaven now, is a great cook. And I always wanted some of her recipes. And so I made it a point as I got older to sit down with her and write down some of her recipes. And it's so funny because she's like, well, you just add a little bit of this and just a touch of that. And, if you want to season it this way. And I'm like, Grandma, what? I need a 1/2 teaspoon, a 1/4 cup. I need exact measurements. And so I kind of joked, and I'm thankful. I did take the time to spend with her and my aunties and some of my cousins. And we ended up 2 cooking sessions. And I do have a lot of her recipes. And I also have some pictures from those 2 cooking sessions. But I always joked, I'm like, if I did a cookbook, I would call it To Taste, because that's what she always said, just to taste. So this is just to taste, however much gold or silver or whatever you want to add, or none. But once again, I'm still working on the template or the tracer and the whole tutorial. I should have it done by this afternoon. If you want information, text me at 406-283-4657. Okay, I'm going to mute myself and blow dry this because our background does need to be dry before we do the scripture. So I'm going to mute myself real quick and then come back and I'll show you how to do that. And we're back. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure this was nice and dry, because I am going to do the exact same step with the graphite paper and the template to get the scripture on here. So because I'm putting a whole sheet of graphite paper down, I wanted to make sure this was nice and dry. Some of these areas are a little ooey gooey, but for the most part, they should be dry. So once again, I'm going to take my graphite paper, not carbon paper, and I'm just going to I'm going to lay this over the entire painting. But like I said, we're just doing the lettering on the top. So you don't need the whole thing if you don't want to. Then I got my template again. Line it up to where it was before. And use my mechanical pencil. And I'm going to do this sideways. So hopefully my sideways writing skills are good. But once again, I'm still going to just hold this down with one hand, just so that way it doesn't move. I'm going to come in here and do the lettering. Same thing, it's going to show up on here just like our angel did, our angel outline. Now, if you are a teacher or have been a teacher, you probably can write upside down, sideways, backwards. Let me know if you're gifted in reading and writing either sideways or upside down. When I was looking at different scriptures, like I said, I'm a self-declared Bible nerd. I love to dig into the Bible and look up different translations, different contexts, different, the Bible is a beautiful, rich, deep book. And I think a lot of people just kind of gloss over like, oh, it's an old book, written, forever ago, and it's not applicable. I challenge you. There's so much cool stuff in there. But anyways, not to get on a tangent, but when I was looking up different scriptures, there's a ton in Psalms. But I just loved the 3 that I picked out. 2 in Psalms, 1 in Zephaniah, all about using music and singing as a form of worship. And I am sad to say I am a horrible, horrible singer. I love to sing and I do it with heart and gusto, but it's pretty wretched. True story. I have scared myself with my own singing voice. 1,000 years ago when, cars had CD players and, if you hit a bump, it would skip. I had a truck that did that, and I was singing my little heart out to Dixie Chicks and hit a pothole and went, ugh! And I went, oh, is that what my voice sounds like? I thought I sounded like the lead singer of from the Dixie Chicks, but evidently, no, it's pretty bad. So, but I still love to sing. But the Bible talks about, make a joyful noise, and my sounds, to me, they come from a heart of joy, but I don't sing well. But I do love to paint. I do love to create art. So I kind of joke that when I create art, that's my song. That's my music. I love to do art with ladies. We have a local chapter of Teen Challenge, and the ladies are going through recovery. And some of those ladies can sing angelically. I mean, like they need to be on American Idol or something. Like their voices are just gorgeous. And so I share my cheesy joke about not being able to sing. But then I say, you know what? But for me, creating art, that's my song. That's where, that's how I can praise God. So for me, my art is my song. So your song doesn't have to be something beautiful that comes out of your mouth, because what comes out of my mouth does not sound beautiful. Nancy says, hello, came in late. Do you have the template for that one? Okay, so I'm working on it. Nancy, send me a text at 406. Actually, Nancy, you sent me a text before, but just remind me, shoot me a little quick message. And then as soon as I have the template ready, I will send that information to you. I actually am giving you guys 3 templates. There's 3 different scriptures that I picked out. There's this one here. I'll show you ladies real quick again. So you'll get it and it'll be big like this. But one of them says, shout to the Lord, all the earth, break out in praise and sing for joy. That's Psalm 98:4. Then the one that we're doing right now, it says, I will sing to you, Lord. I will celebrate your kindness and your justice. Psalm 101:1. And then the very last one that I picked is Zephaniah 3:17. He will rejoice over you in joyful songs. So 3 templates, all for a 16 by 20 canvas. If you want a different size, just let me know. And you probably can't see it because it's really light, but see right there, I don't know if you guys can see, like kind of right in here, see the wording kind of shows through. If that's too light, you can definitely do it with a Sharpie and then paint over it. The background is going to be the background, so you don't have to do it twice if you don't want to. I'm lazy, so I'm only doing it the once. But like I said, I just did it with the carbon paper so that way you could see it on the background. Once again, if you're doing black lettering, I'm going to use a black pen. Then make sure your background is slightly light in color. If you have a dark background, just use a lighter color. I'm going to just use a permanent marker. You can definitely, like I joke, go old school and use a paintbrush and paint. I'm just going to do this pretty quick and knock this out. And I'm going to come in here and letter. This is going to be upside down for you guys. And I'm sorry, but I promise it will go quick. But kind of going back to singing, it's so funny because like I said, I am just not a gifted singer. I will gladly accept compliments on my artistic skills, but singing is just not an area I was blessed in. But I have family members, I have close friends that are amazing. So I just kind of say that for me, my art is my song. So if you can't sing to save your life, but you're artistic like I am, feel free to use that as well. I will sing to you. So I'm concentrating really hard to make sure I don't mess this up. You're like, why is Julie so quiet? It's so unlike her. So I have to share this funny story with you. So I always love to razz my husband any chance I get. And so we were at the grocery store and I was standing in line and the person behind the counter didn't hear me. And so they were doing what they were doing and they like turned around and were like, oh, I didn't know you were there. I'm sorry. You were so quiet. I'm like, whoa, 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 hold the line. And so my husband was just a few feet from me and I said, listen, somebody said I was quiet. I know you wouldn't believe it unless you were here and heard it with your own 2 ears. And so we were just laughing about that because very seldom am I accused of being quiet. It's very most time opposite. Celebrate. So sometimes if I'm quiet, it's like, oh, what's wrong? Once I'm done doing this, I'll show you guys a real quick trick if you want to make your lettering look a little fancier. I've taken lettering classes. You've probably heard me talk a few times that back in Lodi, California, where I'm from, there's a great gallery. It's an ice cream. Well, it's an art gallery where they serve ice cream, I guess is the best way to say it. I'm like, ice cream and art under the same roof. Holy cow. But anyways, the owner just does amazing lettering and murals and just all kinds of cool stuff. So I've actually taken classes specifically on lettering. I would say calligraphy, but I know calligraphy, there's some people that go to school for years with calligraphy. So it's not calligraphy, it's lettering. I'll call what I do lettering. But there's a couple little tips and tricks that can just take regular cursive and make it look awesome. I don't know a lot of tricks, but anything that I know, I'm more than happy to share. Kind of joke. I'm like, I don't have a lot of marbles rolling around in my head, but don't you think these would make a beautiful gift too? maybe you're, you know, maybe worship director at your church, or if you know anybody that, you know, is musically inclined, like a joke. I am not, but you could also just do one of these for yourself too. All right. Turn this right way so you can see. I will sing to the Lord. I will celebrate your kindness and your justice. And then you can also come back, as long as this is dry, you can kind of come back in. And sometimes I like to come in and just add like some maybe lines for the hair. Like I said, if she's got curly hair, you can add some curly lines. You can come back in here and just add in some kind of fun details. Actually, let me do that real quick. And then I'll show you with the lettering. Kind of come in here. And then one little quick trick. This is from art school. So this is an actual art thing. So you can say I'm fancy. If you look underneath her neck, see how I put these little lines on the side of her neck just as kind of some shading? So if you just do lines, that's called hatching. If you do lines back and forth, that's called cross hatching. And it's just to give it some like shading. It's almost like an illustrator kind of look to it. So once again, you can leave this just as is, but you can also kind of come in and add maybe some details to the wings. Sometimes I like to add just little short wispy accent lines. So once again, you can paint this however you want. You can, you know, paint a face. I taught a class on, not a class, it was more like a workshop on these angels one time at a retreat. And this lady, since she was praying, she kind of did like the eyes closed, like the kind of like two little smiley faces. And it was just the perfect little sweet touch. Actually, maybe I'll do that. Just so you guys can kind of get an idea of what you could do. There's all different little fun things you can do. See how that cute that looks with her little praying sleepy eyes. But and also look at the gold. See how that gold just shines. Ooh, love me some gold. But anyway, so you can see a little bit how I added a little extra detail on this wing. Like I said, you don't have to. This is just totally optional. But I like to give you guys some ideas on what you can do. Now, when it comes to the lettering, see how you can see the lettering, but it's just real basic. So one thing that makes lettering look a little more fancy is they say, so whenever you're writing, whenever your pen or your pencil goes down, that's called the downstroke, make that line thicker. And I'm gonna give you guys an example. So like on this word sing, all I'm doing is whenever my pen would go from top to bottom, I'm just making that line a little fatter, a little thicker. So that in fancy lettering terms, it's called the downstroke. So whenever your pen would come down, and this automatically makes your lettering look fancier. So I'll show you. So see on this top sentence, I will sing. See how on, let me see if I can get it up here where you guys can see. See on the letter, on the S, on the I, on the G, on the N and the G. See how the downstroke, I just made those lines a little bit thicker. I just kind of oomphed them up a little bit. That's a really easy way to kind of just make the lettering look a little fancier. So there is our beautiful, beautiful angel. And like I said, I just want you to see, so there's dark blue. Here's one that I did in teal. This one just had a little longer scripture on it. But you can kind of see the same idea for the wings. See just a little bit of gold, kind of that messed up look. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's why I love these designs, because the imperfectness is what makes them look beautiful. They're almost kind of I don't know, they just look like they've been around a little bit. They're like a rag doll from your grandma. You know, they've been loved on a little bit. So once again, shoot me a text, 406-283-4657. I should have this tutorial put all together this afternoon, and then I will send you information. So I'm so excited. Once again, you'll get all 3 tracers that have those 3, where did I put them? I don't know where I put them, but have those 3 scriptures. You'll get the template for the wings. So all you have to do is print them, cut them out, slap them on, you're done. This video, step-by-step instructions written out, and also a suggested supply list. So thanks for spending a little bit of your Sunday with me. I hope you guys are all having a great day. I know I was chatting with somebody who was at the very beginning saying it was raining where they were. I think that was Elizabeth. She was saying that it was kind of raining where she was. We have a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. So I'm going to go outside, spend some time in my yard, try and get a little bit of vitamin D therapy. But like I said, I will also have this tutorial ready for you soon. So hope you're having a great, great Sunday. Shoot me a text and we'll talk to you soon.